I'm Linda Rowland Bitzel, and this is my sister.
I'm Carolyn Rowland.
And we're here to talk about our father, Samuel Herman Rowland. And he was in the World War II in the Army, and he was a cook for the Army. And he served in World War II. And
where was he stationed?
He went in at Fort Hays, and he was 21 years old. And he went from Fort Hays. He went down to Fort Sam, Houston, and then they eventually closed Fort Sam when they were getting ready to go to Europe. And when they went from Fort Sam, they went up to Wisconsin, and they did extensive training up there before they actually went overseas. Then after that, when they got ready to get their orders to go overseas, they went from there, they went up to New York, and then they shipped out and went over to England. But then they, their division, they stayed in Ireland is where they stayed at until they got their orders to and go on into France. And from there, he
traveled around with them, through France and Germany.
Went through all of Europe. He was in the 2nd Infantry, and the 2nd Infantry's logo was to keep up the fire. This was their insignia, and that's what they did. He's told me a story about how they would go in and they would help out the troops, and they would always call for the 2nd Infantry to come in, and they would go into the they would come in and help out when they got the 1st Division would go in, and they would get bombarded, and they couldn't take them. And here he had, they were at a hill, and I thought he said it was in Belgium, I'm not real sure, where they went in and they were called to come and help and relieve the firing on, they had captured, where they were capturing some Germans. And what was happening was that they ended up and they couldn't get the Germans to surrender. So they called the 2nd Infantry to come in, and they came in, and then the 1st Division backed off to regroup and get some new strategy, evidently. And then my dad's division, what they did was they kept the fire up. They kept making them think that they were still there. And then after that, then they came in with their new strategy, and they captured the hill, and they happened to have, happened to be women's German boots. These are women's. And my dad had the gun. I had the gun at one time. And when they captured him, he seen that there was a woman in there, and he was afraid that she was going to run. So he made her take her boots off, and he took her gun away. So that was his little fame and glory. So he carried these around during the whole war. So that had to be quite a load. And this here is his. I don't know if this is the division.
The whole division.
Is the whole division, or if this is or the platoon? I can't remember. He's in here somewhere. This is quite
and the story,
in bad shape.
The story was there's one guy that was here at the beginning, and they had to span the thing, and he took off behind, and he got back in the end picture at the end, and that probably was quite common because it took him a while to go across taking that picture.
But the 2nd Infantry was very, very important in the military, which every position that anybody played. Dad always said that it wasn't just one man that won the war; it was all of them. It was great. It was just great teamwork, and they had great camaraderie. I don't know if that's a word I want to use. For one another, they just loved each other, and he said he never came back the same, and that's pretty much true.
Yeah,
every one of them came back a different person.
But he really didn't talk much about the battles and the
well, he did to me.
Did he?
So,
to you?
yeah,
He
let's
did
don't
to
get
me.
into that. Okay.
So,
And this is the actual menu. My dad went in as a cook, and he was very proud of it. And he had this is the first. This is where they went in at Fort Sam Houston, and these are all the people that was there at that time. It actually has shows the actual what they ate and everything. It's kind of a nice little thing. And then this here was his company book or division book, and this really is a great book. This tells all about what every part of this of all these guys did in World War II. I had some great. They actually gave out maps on how they had the strategies going on and where they was going to take what hill. That's a nice book.
Tell me about the color photo.
This
This
color
is-
photo?
that's
Oh, this
my
is
dad.
just a recent picture of our family several years ago. But my father, and here's my sister Carolyn, and myself, and then these are his only two grandchildren. And he has since passed away in 2001. So
Do you feel a connection to him through these things?
Yes.
Oh, I do.
yeah.
Yeah, my dad told me a lot of stories about, and he was shell shocked. Most of them, I think, came back. A lot of them came back shell shocked. It wasn't an easy one. We had an uncle that was in the Battle of the Bulge as well, and every one of them came back a different person. They were very proud to have served their country. They, of course, back in those days, people didn't go against what they were doing. You know, not like it is today, where we all have to say, well, we have an opinion, and no, we don't want them to go. But during World War II, it was the thing to do. And there was a purpose, and they all believed in America, and they felt very strongly about it. So they were great men, all of them. And this is his uniform that he actually wore in the service. The pants are underneath there as well. So you've got his whole. The only thing we don't have is his shoes, and we don't have him with us anymore.
No.
And we're really sorry about that. But we also have lots of pictures that he had taken during the war. This is a USO. These are some of his. These were some of his girlfriends in Europe that fell in love with him, but he wasn't going to marry him. And these are some of his buddies. I think this one here. There's one of them here. These are some of the cook pictures that he had taken when he was at Fort Sam, when they finally went down to Fort Sam. And we just have lots of memories, and these are his best buddies right there. And some other people, I don't know. Evidently they stole the Jeep. I'm not too sure. I don't think so, but and this is his picture. This is his military picture that when he first went in. So